Item number 1 is really understanding what batching is all about and what you're striving to create. You're not just mass producing and cranking out videos because you need to get done. You need to create videos that viewers love. And the fact is, it's kind of a dirty little secret, but when you just follow some basic formats and methods, it'll allow you to really create videos that viewers do love, but you can do it in a way where like you block off maybe 3 hours and you're able to create content for 1 month, allowing you to free up your calendar, giving you that freedom and flexibility to get it all done. Item number 2, batching may not be the answer for you. And I've got all these steps I want to break down and share with you because it's important to really know where you're at and what to do in real time before you start batching. It's really all about understanding your mental space, where you're at, and furthermore, your workflow, and that takes us into item number 3. Before you really batch, you want to make sure things are dialed in enough. For example, right here is my microphone, which doesn't need batteries, it doesn't need to be charged, and it's simple. I run my audio straight into my camera, not into some fancy XLR. I want simple, but pretty darn good enough. So make sure your audio is dialed in, and furthermore, make sure your background is where you want it to be. It doesn't need to be state of the art. You could film in your room, but make sure your room is clean so you feel good about moving forward. And think about all the videos you're going to batch. You want to make sure these things are ready to roll before you do that. And item number 4 is do not start tired. Before you start thinking I'm going to batch record, make sure all these things are in place, one of which is where you're at physically and mentally. Yesterday, I took the day off and I didn't really do much. I edited for maybe 1 hour and that was it. Now, this is powerful because this morning I came down, I'm at my best, I feel well rested, and I'm pretty calm. That's a great place to be. And if you're not there, then what I would say is just kind of keep working on your workflow, get the background and your audio dialed in, make sure your lighting looks good, and you'll know when you're ready to batch produce, and then keep moving forward with these steps to get there. Item number 5 is to choose a time where you know you're most likely not to be disturbed. The more you can really separate from the rest of the world and just go to your safe space where you always record, the better. If your house is quiet in the morning, perfect, but maybe you're at your best in the afternoon. Maybe then just request your family members, your friends, hey, I need a little time, 2-3 hours this afternoon, and then that's really going to free me up so you really don't get disrupted. You want to get in the flow when you're batch producing your content. Furthermore, what I've been doing is each step of the way, I've been taking my video files from the cards, right, the SD cards, up to where I edit, really organizing things and so on. Simple, effective, so far so good. Number 6 is you want to turn off the physical things in your recording space as you begin to film. So when you're ready to make it happen, make sure the furnace is off, make sure the fan is off, turn off your notifications, because again, you need to protect your time and you want to be totally dialed in, and more importantly, focused. Now we're getting tactical. You want to ensure you've got your video titles all really planned out. And here's why. When I'm batch producing, I'm moving really fast. And I don't need to have everything scripted out. I think you're better off not to. Now you can sort of script. The first video I did this morning, I kind of scripted. I spent about a half an hour and then I filmed that video. Along with screen captures, thoughts, and ideas. It was a little bit more than I typically do. but typically I just want a few bullet points. And in fact, this video, I'm going to share a really powerful way in which you can use AI to really format and simplify and streamline your ideas, keeping you on track, but also allowing you to move faster. And part of that is to have your video titles in place. And this is powerful because when you begin your video, you really want to echo your video title. This video title is something to the effect of, I believe it was, how to batch content for YouTube and Instagram. And literally, as I was making this video, I spent 2 minutes coming up with bullet points and leveraging the power of AI. But I did it in a really interesting way. I'm going to share that with you in just a second. And then number two, the thing I did was I just thought I need to begin the first few words, the first sentence with the title, because that's going to improve the watch time metrics that are critical on Instagram and especially on YouTube. And then item number 9 is to have some clear bullet points to guide you along the way. And one of the things I would recommend, a great format to leverage, is to spend no more than 30 seconds to a minute on a string of bullet points that guide you along. And here's what's really powerful, is you don't have to rely on AI to tell you what to do, although we're sort of going to do that. We're going to do that to create structure and to simplify things for us. But in this example, my bullet point mentions focusing on 2 to 3 strong topics. I disagree. Start with 20 and go through them quicker because it creates momentum in the video, which keeps viewers watching. Item number 10. Never script out your videos word for word. Now, I mentioned scripting, and I did kind of do that, sort of. It's just a structure guide point, right? It's a way for me to structure out my ideas, and then I simply share from my heart based on what I've learned or where I'm at in the process and the passion that I have, and I want to practice being authentic on camera. I want to practice sharing my message with you. And when I have a perfectly written script, I might really be stressed if I'm not perfectly following it and I got to check back and look down. It's a lot easier to share from the heart. And when you do that, you're able to move fast, covering a lot of different topics, which makes the process of making videos, especially batching, fast, effective, and powerful. And as mentioned, item number 11 is keep the gear simple and easy. This is not a time to introduce something new into your workflow. If you're doing that, like that's where you're at, get comfortable so you do feel somewhat comfortable. But just know, if you're newer to content creation, it takes time to get used to communicating with the camera. Now, here's a little trick when we talk about that. Keep your system how it is. Don't introduce something new. And when you film videos, if you kind of mess things up, it's okay. Give yourself a break. Don't fall victim to the things I did early, thinking, oh my God, I suck at this. I'm so horrible. There's a reason that television actors have blooper reels. There's a reason that they do their lines again and again, because it takes practice. And if you've never done it, give yourself a break. Item number 12 is your backdrop. And we talked about that. So on to number 13. Make sure you're using the same camera settings every single time. You're mass producing content, and the more you can save your camera settings, your phone settings, you can always have things dialed in exactly the same, the better. In fact, I've taken this to an extreme today. I needed to change out batteries in not one, but 2 cameras. And in order to do that, I filmed 3 videos, and then the camera batteries were almost totally dead. But I didn't want to unplug the microphone jack, because you'd be surprised. A lot of times things happen and then you mess up a video. So I didn't really try to touch anything until I had 3 videos in the bag, and always relying on the same settings ensures that you have a great final product. Because again, the goal is not just to mass produce videos. The goal is to work fast, but to ensure you're not working so fast that nobody is connecting with your videos. Item number 14, do not overthink your wardrobe. It's totally okay to wear the same t-shirt, or even if you're a woman, to wear the same shirt when you're making 2 or 3 videos. People are not going to care. I promise. If you feel more comfortable when you change your outfit, then by all means, please do. So on the day that you're resting before you're batch producing, think, what am I going to wear, and get that out the night before, so when you come down or you go to your spare bedroom where you're going to record, the wardrobe is ready and you're good to go. Item number 15, you're building a repeatable system, and once you have it dialed in, you take it to the next level. Now here's what I'm going to do. Again, this is video number 4. I'm going to come down again tomorrow and at least film 1, if not 2 more videos, but I don't even think I'm done today. The more you can really create that repeatable system, and for a few days you can crank out videos, then you don't have to come back to record and you can just focus on editing, or even better, you can hand your video footage off to an editor and you're good to go. Item number 16, super powerful. Reuse assets in your media library. If you want background music rather, make sure you save that and just use the same one. Again, people really won't care. What matters the most is your title, which is obviously connected to your topic, and then sharing in a way that pulls people in. When you get that dialed in, they're going to click more, watch longer, and you're going to win. And that was item number 16. Number 17 is actually a little bit of the opposite. Now and then, I think it does make sense to spend just a little bit more time in the edit, incorporate some B-roll, some footage of you doing the thing. If you're sharing how to create tomato plants, gardening, whatever, film yourself doing that thing. Film yourself gardening and then incorporate that as footage on top of your talking head shot. That's known as B-roll. Really powerful. It doesn't have to always be cookie cutter, and every now and then I like to spend a little bit more time. Item number 18 is absolutely one of the most important things. Be your authentic self and let go of perfection. When you film, if you make a mistake, leave it in. If your video is riddled with mistakes, then you stop. If you can't get out the first 30 seconds and it's a mishmash, you stop and you film again. But it's really a balance of being you, but being the best authentic you possible for YouTube or Instagram, and then moving on. Don't edit on the same day unless you have to get a video out. Leave space and time for that later, and just know that literally like these kinds of really simple videos can be edited in just a bit more time than the actual video. You'll find you might film for 10 or 15 minutes, the edit's gonna take 20. And then you're done. And then you can upload. Item number 20 is you'll begin to build momentum and you won't feel tired, especially if you schedule your video batch production filming in the morning, if you can do that. Now, as you start to film, you might even add another video into the mix that wasn't planned, just like this one. And what I recommend is you might see a comment on your channel, you might come up with an idea, and then qualify the idea by going to the YouTube search bar and trying to figure out how people would search for that topic, and then just create the video. We'll talk about the bullet points and how to structure that in an incredible way in just moments. Don't forget hydration. Drink plenty of water. Bring down, as I grab this, what you need. Chapstick, water, my blue blocking glasses, which I don't like the way these look now, but if I do this, I remove the reflection. These are the bullet points I'm paying attention to right as I film. It really shows you the process and the step-by-step system I'm using. I'm wondering about if there's a reflection in the glasses now. Hopefully not. And that's why I'm filming with them off. And if there was a reflection, it's okay. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Item number 22 is to keep it simple. The only thing I'm trying to do today is batch, that is to film video content that's going to carry me for a while. I want simple. I don't want to worry about publishing today or editing today. Again, the more I can offload, the more I can really focus on using my true power and energy today to get more videos in the bag. I think we're going to film another one after this one. And that was 22. Number 23 is powerful and it's important. You really want to store and organize your footage in a very systematic way. I went upstairs and after every video, I unload the cards, but I don't unplug the audio jack into the camera for reasons I mentioned earlier. I do go upstairs. I've got one folder that says New June Content, and then the videos are titled, or the folders, and then I've got folders based on the individual videos, and I even numbered them based on how I want the videos to be released. Some of the videos, I'm not sure my core audience is going to care. Some of them will, but they're more targeted for YouTube search. Like I did a video on YouTube Premium to remove ads versus the newer YouTube Lite. And I targeted that keyword phrase because number one, it's what I'm doing in my life. I just downgraded from Premium. But really, item number 2, it's a brand new keyword phrase. Now, I call this just born. Any new topic that has a new keyword phrase often has a lot less videos on YouTube, especially when I target exactly what I just shared. That video title, for example, will be YouTube Premium Lite versus Premium. That's going to give me an advantage, and I wonder if I'll be able to rank for that keyword phrase. But the idea is to create a folder with all your videos, and you want to have them labeled as you want to release them onto YouTube. Really thinking about your core audience that keeps returning to your channel versus videos that might be more optimized for search, which is great because you get views day after day, even when you're not publishing. Item number 24 is to sit back and reflect on what worked and just know you're going to get better. If you're not happy with how you communicated, your delivery, your on-camera presence, it's okay. It takes a lot of videos to get where you want to go. And still, you might not be there. But what I know is how you really communicate is really important, and over time, you're going to get a lot better. Give yourself some grace and know next time you can even dial things in more. Think to yourself, what do I need to change? One of the things I'll do is I'll actually come downstairs and I'll be like, the camera needs to be angled here. The camera is not straight at eye level and it's giving me a weird angle. I'll fix it before I start editing because I might forget when I'm back in my studio a few days later. But these tripods, they don't move. You know what I'm saying? So just looking at what you've done and reflecting and then making small changes in your setup is really smart, and it'll help you to make better videos next time. Item number 25 is to celebrate. You've just recorded 2, 3, 4, maybe 8 videos in one go, and now you've got content for quite a while. You know, if I film 8 videos, I can probably go about 25 days. I can't imagine how far I'm going to be on my book. Now, here's the trick when it comes to coming up with a great structure of bullet points leveraging the power of AI. I've made a video and it's on the screen right now, and I'm going to start that video with how I created this video structure in seconds. Click that video, I'll see you there. You dig?